after discussing the classical collision theory of chemical reaction, now what collision theory says? That the reactant molecules collide with each other and they form products. Now all the collisions do not result into product formation, and the collisions which actually form product, they are effective collisions. And what are the two criteria for effective collisions? First, the molecules must possess sufficient energy, that is threshold energy, and their orientation should be proper at the time of collisions. Now moving on to the next concept which can explain the mechanism of a chemical reaction is the concept of activation energy and transition state theory. So your collision theory is a classical theory, and the new advanced concept is this transition state theory. Now what this theory says? According to this theory, the reactants do not change into products directly. First, they absorb energy, okay, which is equal to activation energy. Okay, now a new word is there, that is activation energy. So first they will absorb energy which is equal to activation energy, so that their average kinetic energy becomes equal to the threshold energy. Okay, now we know the meaning of threshold energy, that is the minimum amount of energy that is required so that the reactants can change into product. Now what is the meaning of threshold? That can be clear. For example, if a 100 marks paper is there, now what is the minimum requirement for you to get pass? That is 36. It means 36 is your threshold. Okay, you will pass only if you have marks equal to or more than 36. Likewise, for any reaction to occur, the reactant molecules have some minimum energy, that is the minimum requirement, and that is known as threshold energy. I told you earlier also that suppose a container is there. Now in this container, suppose molecules are there. All the molecules will not possess this threshold energy. Some of the molecules will be having energy more than this threshold energy. They will change into products. But some of the molecules will not have the energy which is equal to threshold energy. So what actually happens? According to this transition state theory, the molecules which are not having sufficient energy, first they absorb energy from outside, and the energy which they absorb is known as activation energy. And why they do this thing? So that whatever energy they are having, that becomes equal to threshold energy. So the excess energy which the molecules are absorbing from outside is known as activation energy. So this is the main concept behind the transition state theory. So what is activation energy? The excess energy which must be supplied to the reactant molecules so that their energy becomes equal to threshold energy. And activation energy we can calculate. So what is the threshold energy we know? Minus the average kinetic energy of reactant molecules. Okay. Now an important thing to note is each reaction has different value of activation energy. Means for a particular reaction, the value of activation energy will be a definite value. Okay. So this activation energy will decide that whether the reaction is slow or whether the reaction is fast. Suppose for a reaction, this activation energy, okay, now activation energy is represented by a symbol EA. Suppose for a reaction, if this activation energy is very high, okay, it means the reactant molecules have to absorb large amount of energy. More and more energy they have to absorb. So if activation energy is very high, what will happen? Such reactions will be slow. And suppose if the value of activation energy is less, okay, it means the reactants have to absorb less amount of energy from the outside. So definitely such reactions will be fast. Okay. So activation energy decides whether the reaction is slow or the reaction is fast. Now we'll take one example to explain this. Suppose this is the reaction which is taking place. Okay. Now these are the two reactants, and these reactants have some energy, which is their average kinetic energy. Okay. So this is your H2 molecule. This is your I2 molecule. Okay. The reactant molecules are having some energy which is associated with them. Now these reactant molecules will absorb some energy from the outside, and whatever energy they are absorbing, that is equal to activation energy. Now what happens when they absorb activation energy? When they absorb activation energy, there is a formation of this thing. Now what this is known as? This is known as activated complex, or this is known as transition state. That's why this theory is known as transition state theory. Okay. Now this is the intermediate configuration. You can see bonds are partially breaking. There is partial formation of bonds like this. So this is your activated complex or transition state. This transition state is unstable, and ultimately it will change into product, and we'll get the product like this. Okay. So this is how a reaction occurs. So this is according to your transition state theory or activated complex theory. Okay. This activated complex or transition state is midway between the reactants and products. It is formed only for a short period of time, and ultimately dissociates into products. Now graphically also we can explain the formation of activated complex. Now this is reaction profile picture. Reaction profile picture means as the reaction progresses or as the reaction proceeds, what are the changes in energies. So this is your reactant. Now what is the energy associated with the reactant? ER. Now what happens actually? The reactants first absorb energy which is equal to activation energy. So these are the reactants here. Now first the reactants are absorbing energy. So they will absorb this much energy, and the reactants will change to activated complex. Now you can see the energy of activated complex is more than reactants, and this activated complex will soon dissociate to form product. Now what is the energy associated with the product? EP, and the difference is known as delta H, and this delta H we have learnt in 11th class. This is what? This is your enthalpy of reaction. Okay, and this is EP minus ER. This reaction profile picture is for exothermic reaction, because here you can see that energy of product is less than energy of reactant. So overall sign of this will be minus. Okay. And similar reaction profile picture we can make for endothermic also. For endothermic, the products will come here. Means the for endothermic reactions, the energy of product is more than that of reactant. So overall delta H will come positive. So this is your concept of activated complex, and the most important thing in this theory is your this activation energy. Okay, means the reactant molecules have to cross this barrier. This is known as activation energy barrier. Okay, if this barrier is high, the reaction will be slow. Okay, and if this barrier is very less, the reaction will be fast. Now let's see the effect of catalyst on the reaction rate. Now this is again the reaction profile picture. Now this is the reactant, this is the product. Now this is uncatalyzed path. I am not using catalyst in the reaction. Now what is the function of catalyst? A catalyst is a substance which increases the rate of reaction. We have seen so many catalysts in organic chemistry. Nickel, platinum, palladium, iron, molybdenum, like this. So catalyst, what it does, it increases the rate of reaction. It can participate in the reaction also, but afterwards it will remain as it is. Okay, we'll get the catalyst back as soon as the reaction is over. So catalyst is a substance which increases the rate of reaction. Catalyst participates in the reaction. It can form bonds also, but ultimately at the end of reaction we'll get our catalyst back. Okay, it remains unchanged after the reaction is over. So this is uncatalyzed path. And how much activation energy I have to supply for uncatalyzed path? This much. But suppose if I add catalyst, now this is the catalyzed path. Now you can see the energy barrier is lowered. EA dash is less than EA. Okay, so what is the function of catalyst? Why catalyst increases the rate of reaction? So catalyst increases the rate by providing an alternate path of lower activation energy. Okay, so this is how catalyst increases the rate. Okay, by providing an alternate path of lower activation energy. So if I add catalyst in the reaction, the activation energy is lowered, and because of this the rate of reaction increases. Now the next important thing is how to calculate this activation energy for a particular reaction. Okay, because now activation energy is the only criteria to decide the rate of reaction. So Arrhenius equation is there, and with the help of which we can calculate activation energy. Actually Arrhenius proposed a relationship between rate constant and temperature. So this is Arrhenius equation in its original form. K is equal to A E, this is exponent, okay, minus EA upon RT. This K is the rate constant. A is another constant which is known as frequency factor. EA is the activation energy, R is gas constant, and T is temperature. So this equation is basically the relation between rate constant and temperature, because for a particular reaction activation energy is constant, R itself is a constant, this is a constant. So this is basically, so two variables are there, rate constant and temperature. And with this equation we can find out activation energy. Now how to do it? Now in its original form it is not possible. So what we'll do, we'll change this equation, okay, by taking logarithm. Now take logarithm on both the sides. Okay, I told you earlier that first we change it to natural log. So ln of k is equal to ln AE minus EA upon RT. So ln of k is equal to ln of A plus ln E minus EA upon RT. Okay. Now ln of E is what? What is this ln? This ln is nothing but it is log to the base E only. Okay, this ln is log to the base E only. So log to the base E to the power E. Now ln of E will be equal to 1 because log to the base E to the power E is 1. Okay, so it is ln of k like this. Okay, because it is log A to the power x. So it is minus x log A. Okay, this power will come like this. Now this is ln of E, and what is this ln of E? This is 1. So my equation is minus EA upon RT. Okay, this is the Arrhenius equation. So here it is rate constant and here it is temperature. But again the problem is there. In natural log I cannot solve this equation, so I have to convert it to log 10. Now it is 2.303 log K is equal to 2.303 log A minus EA upon RT. Now divide the equation by 2.303 minus EA upon 2.303 RT. Okay, now this is the final equation. Now I told you earlier also that whenever we derive any equation, okay, we compare this equation and then we draw a graph. Now this equation can be comparable to y. Now this is equal to y, this is mx and c. Okay, so we'll plot a graph. Now what is x? It is 1 upon t, because relation is between rate constant and temperature, and here I will put log of K. Okay, now slope is negative slope. This is the graph, decreasing graph. So what is slope? Slope is always equal to m, and m is minus EA upon 2.303 R. Okay. Okay, and what is this log A? This log A is intercept on the axis. Okay, so this intercept, I am writing it here. So this intercept is equal to log of A. Okay, so we'll plot a graph, we'll find out its slope, and the slope is equal to minus EA upon 2.303 R. So with the help of this slope, we can calculate activation energy. So I can write activation energy is equal to slope into 2.303 into R. Now alternately, this is one way of finding out activation energy. Alternately, this activation energy can be calculated as, there is another method. Okay, and what is that method? Suppose a reaction is taking place. Okay, now at temperature T1, your rate constant is K1, and at temperature T2 the rate constant is K2, because I told you earlier that rate constant depends only on temperature. So what we'll do, we'll write two equations. Minus EA upon 2.303 R T1. Okay, this is a constant, it will not change. Activation energy for a reaction is always a constant, since it is the same reaction taking place at two temperatures. R T2. Okay, now this is my first equation and this is my second equation. So at two temperatures the reaction is taking place. Now two equations are there. Now 2 minus 1. Okay, so I will write like this. Now subtract the two equations. And when we subtract two equations, the sign change. So this will be cancelled. So what is my final equation now? The final equation will be log K2 minus log K1 is equal to, now EA upon 2.303 R T1 minus EA upon 2.303 R T2. This is the final equation. Now we'll apply one log function. So it is log A upon B. Now take this as common. It is 1 upon T1 minus 1 upon T2. So this is the final equation. Okay, this is the another way of calculating activation energy. So activation energy we can calculate graphically also by finding out slope, or by using this equation, Arrhenius equation. Now since we had derived an equation, so let's solve some numericals based on the Arrhenius equation. The question is, the rate of a reaction becomes 4 times when the temperature is changed from 293 Kelvin to 313 Kelvin. Calculate the activation energy of the reaction. So first I will write the equation. Now substitute the values. The rate of reaction becomes 4 times. It means K2 is 4 times of K1, because rate of reaction and rate constant are same only. Now R is also given to us, 1 upon 293 minus 1 upon 313. Okay, now this is log 4, and log 4 value is so it is 313 minus 293, like this. Now we'll rearrange the things, we'll solve it, and finally we can get our activation energy. So the activation energy is 52863.3 joules per mole. Now the second question is, a reaction is 50% complete in 20 minutes at 300 Kelvin and 50% complete in 5 minutes at 350 Kelvin. Calculate the activation energy if it is a first order reaction. So how to solve this question? So first temperature is 300 Kelvin. Now at this temperature T half is given to us, that is 20 minutes. Now second temperature is 350 Kelvin and T half is given to us, that is 5 minutes. Now we know the relation that if T half is there, we can calculate rate constant. Okay, so K1 is 0.693 upon T half. Since it is a first order reaction, so we are using this formula. And K2 is 0.693 upon T half. Okay, here it will be 20, here it will be 5. Now the equation is one upon T1 minus 1 upon T2. So it is log. Now what is K2? It is 0.693 upon 5 because T half here is 5 and 0.693 upon 20. EA upon 2.303 into 8.314, 1 upon 300 minus 1 upon 350. Now this will be cancelled and this 20 will go up, so it will be log 20 upon 5. It is so 350 minus 300 upon 300 into 350. Solve this value. Okay. Now log 20 upon 5 is log 4. So again we can calculate the value of activation energy by rearranging the things. So it is 24206 joules per mole. Now a different type of question is this, in which the activation energy is given to us and we have to find out the rate constant or the ratio of rate constant. The activation energy for a first order reaction is 60 kilojoules per mole at 300 Kelvin. So temperature is 300 Kelvin and the activation energy is 60. Now in the presence of catalyst, the energy is lowered to 50 kilojoules per mole. So there are two activation energies. How many times the rate of reaction increases in the presence of catalyst? So when we use catalyst, how many times the reaction will increase? Means definitely we have to find out the ratio of K2 by K1. So what we'll do? We'll make two equations. Like this, because now here temperature is constant. Okay. And okay, now again subtract the two equations, that is 2 minus 1. This is equation number 1, this is equation number 2. So log K2 by K1, because log K2 minus log K1 is log K2 by K1. So EA1 minus EA2, okay, and this 1 upon 2.303 RT I will take common. Okay, directly I have written the value. Now substitute the values, you will get your answer. So definitely we have to calculate K2 by K1. Okay, so here anti-log will be required. So let's see how it is done. So log K2 by K1 is equal to, now what is EA1? It is 60 kilojoules. So I will change it to joules. Okay, like this. So we'll solve the value. Okay, now I will solve this thing. Okay, now take anti-log. It is positive anti-log. Okay, so 74.74 at 1 we will see in from the anti-lock table, and accordingly we'll put the decimal, so it is 55.08. It means K2 is 55.08 times of K1. So rate of reaction is increased by 55 times. So this is how we can calculate activation energy, or if activation energy is given to us, we can calculate the rate constant, or we can also find out that how many times the reaction rate will increase.